God damn it, can I just once eat a fucking hot dog down here without spilling it on myself? Well, anyway, I'm back. I know it's been 2 weeks since my last video, but I just finished watching Al Adamson's Blood of Ghastly Horror. That's right, it took me 2 fucking weeks to get through this movie. Now, how bad is that, you may ask? Well, I sat through Porno Holocaust in one sitting. Trust me, I had to spread this shit out over 2 weeks, because 20 minutes into this fucking movie, I was about ready to check myself into Bellevue on the grounds that I was pretty sure I was becoming a schizophrenic. And seeing how a lot of people out there requested that I do this film, I'm sure all of you out there had the exact same feeling. The feeling of sitting there watching what is supposed to be a fucking zombie movie, I guess, and then seeing jewel heists for some reason and mad fucking scientists. What the fuck am I watching? This movie is like watching one of those old 70s made-for-TV films where it's 2 separate stories going on simultaneously and have nothing to do with one another, but you don't realize it until an hour into the film after being left there in a frozen state of utter confusion. It is almost impossible to describe the multiple plots of this film without getting into the whole backstory. Believe it or not, this film did not start out as a horror movie. It didn't even start out with the title of Blood of Ghastly Horror. The movie was at first filmed in 1964 as a heist film called Echo of Terror. In this film, a gang of thieves led by psychotic Joe Corey attempt to steal a stash of diamonds, only to have the stash dumped into a contractor's truck, causing Corey and his pals to kidnap the man's wife and child in an attempt to find their loot. Or something like that. Believe it or not, the director and the producer could not find anyone interested in distributing the film. So 1 year later, scenes were added with John Carradine playing a mad scientist, proving that John Carradine and a mad scientist role seem to go together as often as the Beatles and radio. In this version, a subplot is added that Carradine performed experiments on Vietnam veteran Joe Corey, which caused him to go crazy and want to steal diamonds. This version was retitled Psycho A Go-Go. You know, I've learned a lot of things over the years, and one of them is that if a movie title ends with a go-go, then it's usually a shit. So, not surprisingly, this movie was unreleasable as well, and while a lot of directors would have just hid it in a mysterious vault next to The Day the Clown Cried, Adamson and his producer pressed on, adding more shit to the movie. Another mad scientist was added, and this scientist creates his own zombies to extract revenge on those responsible for the murder of his son, crazed Vietnam vet jewel thief Joe Corey. Tommy Kirk is also added as an edgy police detective investigating the zombie murders. You know, I kind of wish that this part was a complete film in itself, because Tommy Kirk is an edgy cop. That sentence alone has enough camp in it to make a movie kind of worth watching in its own way, but instead he's just an added subplot, so Kirk is barely in the film, making way for more freaking Joe Corey flashbacks. Adamson's real-life wife, Regina Carroll, is also added as a damsel in distress. I have nothing against directors putting their own spouses in films because, you know, sometimes you get Julie Andrews and Victor Victoria. And sometimes, well, you get this. And there you have it. Blood of Ghastly Horror. A full-length film that is stitched together with 3 fucking movies that are really shitty by themselves. I mean, that's almost like okay, we've made this fucking shitty movie. We got Warren Beatty, Dustin Hoffman, and Blind Campbell. They're in a desert. Fuck, how the fuck are we gonna get out of this one? I know. We'll have Sean Penn and Madonna show up, and they'll save the fucking day. Only trouble starts brewing when something comes down from space containing a walking, talking, dancing, singing fucking duck. Great, brilliant idea. We'll call it Bombs Away. The beginning of the movie says that Blood of Ghastly Horror is filmed in Chill-O-Rama. In the 2 weeks I spent with this film, I have yet to find out what the fuck Chill-O-Rama means. Am I going to catch fucking pneumonia from the thing? Even though I have no idea what that fucking term means, I can honestly say I'd rather stick with shitty fucking 3D. The movie is almost impossible to coherently watch anyway. It looks like I'm looking at some kind of bootleg of an 8mm camera pointed directly at the middle of the screen as it was being screened in the theater. We're not getting this, we're getting this. It is so fucking scrunched that sometimes I don't even know who the fuck is talking.
Hello, Doc. Joe Corey. Long time no see.
See, I honestly thought that the skull was saying those lines at first, and when it comes to the action scenes, fucking forget about it.
Hold it.
That's exactly what I need. A shitty horror film that is the movie equivalent of being nearsighted. You know that a movie is going to be a total fucking waste when whoever writes the fucking Netflix envelope summary didn't even see the movie. If you were to go by what you read on this fucking thing, then you would think that the mad scientist is played by David Carradine, and that the crazy Vietnam vet is played by Tommy Kirk, and he later turns into a zombie. First off, you never, ever promise David Carradine and then not deliver David Carradine. Second, the Vietnam vet does not turn into a fucking zombie, nor is he played by Tommy Kirk. Although that, too, could have been interesting. Anyway, whoever wrote this shit got all of this dead fucking wrong, yet still feels that Al Adamson rivals Ed Wood as worst director of all time. I highly disagree. While I shall remember the films of Ed Wood for what they are, I will not in the future remember Blood of Ghastly Horror. Nor will I remember Psycho A Go-Go or Echo of Terror. Actually, I take that back. I will remember this tomorrow when I have to put it back in my fucking mailbox so I can get it the fuck out of my house. Pick any genre you want. Heist film, zombie film, mad scientist film, whatever. Blood of Ghastly Horror is one of the worst.